well, this is pretty rigid, isn't it, for this ultra AHA. I've literally come back from my run, and it was just the perfect time to be able to do this little video, but also share on my screen what this whole one's about. And it's super exciting because, as you know, I've been doing my MAF heart rate, so low heart rate training for over 2 months now. But what this AHA is about is the incredible effect that a neurotransmitter dopamine has on us. Okay, so dopamine is known to be the motivational chemical, I suppose. And what it is we know that when people set a goal, it stimulates the dopamine centers in our brain, or it's not a center in our brain, it's a neurotransmitter. So when we set a goal, we get super excited, and that actually gets us even more motivated. What the researchers have also found is that when we get close to achieving a goal, then dopamine gets re-stimulated again. So here's the rub, right? You set the goal, get excited. You get near the completion of the goal, you get excited. But can you see that gap in the middle? And this is where so many people fall down, including myself. And so most of the work we have to do for attaining our goal is managing this gap in the middle. And inadvertently, I've come up with a different way compared to the way that I share with my clients. So with my clients, under the habit change practitioner training I did, a tick sheet is actually the perfect way for my clients, or a habit tracker on a phone. It's the perfect way to see your progress, which helps you to stimulate the dopamine, which makes you feel really good because you're on your way. Tick sheets are great, and I've had a lot of experience, like a lot of success with them personally and with clients. But I've actually been creating inadvertently a version of a tick sheet, and I didn't realize it. So I'm going to share my screen. And what I'm sharing with you is, I hope you can, you should be able to see that. I just started tracking on the 4th of December, literally how I was going with regards to my runs. So I've got the date. I didn't initially start what my time is, but I am tracking what my time is, like what time of the day I'm doing it, and that's helping with my epigenetic information. But the other thing here is I'm tracking what distance of kilometers we're doing, what time I was doing it in. More importantly to me was what pace I'm doing it in, my average heart rate. So those who remember, I'm 180 minus 55 years, which means my average heart rate is not to get over 125. It can now, thankfully, because of the time I've been doing it, but in the early days, it had to be that low. Max heart rate, really don't want to see it over 150. My cadence, so that's my steps per minute, my Cliffy Shuffle. I've added in perceived effort, and then I've started tracking those. So I'm diarising what I'm doing. What I didn't realise is that this form of tracking is helping me to stimulate the dopamine in my brain, which is helping me to get through the gap between setting the goal of doing the ultra and getting near the completion line at Canggu on the 20-something of May. And it has been so potent because now I can see, look at this. My pace when I started was at a 6.6 kilometres per hour. I am now regularly playing at the 8.2, well, not regularly. I've started to lift to the 8.2. Now, what I'm doing is just comparing with my 45 minutes ones, they're my orange ones. And that just gives me such a buzz. It buzzes my ego. That's okay, because I'm not using my ego when I'm running. And you can see that by my weekend run, where it was so horrifically hot, I could only run for 15 minutes out of 2 hours and 15 minutes. But I think this has not just been fueling me to see my progress on a positive note. By being able to track this and diarise it, it's also dopamining me, or setting off that neurotransmitter, and motivating me even on my shitty days. And what I mean by shitty days is the days where it is a hard slog. And the heat that we've got at the moment has definitely been proving that. So what does this mean for you? Well, I think what I want you to take from this is the fact that tracking our progress, even if the progress has been slow, slightly backwards, or only just marginally forwards, the act of tracking our progress between setting a goal and getting to the completion is beautiful biochemically for us, but it will help us like bridge that gap. And it bridges that gap with curiosity. Now, that is another part of our brain and mind that loves to be stimulated. And if you can continue to stimulate it, particularly as you age, you will have much higher levels of well-being. So, yeah, I just think this is pretty cool. I'm stimulating my biochemistry and motivating myself in the process. I've also started to do some tracking within my business that I had not done in the past. Only a couple of weeks in, it now makes sense to me why even though the results that I'm seeing tracked aren't exactly where I want, but the process, the habit of tracking them is giving me some solace. And now I know it's also giving me motivation through dopamine. I've also been tracking our finances since 2015, every month in a statement of position. So look, I just wanted to share how valuable tracking is and how valuable it is also for our physicality, our biology. You know, I love to talk about that. And I know it's also going to help me as I get toward the sticky end of this. You know, I've got a 5 to 6 hour run coming up, and there's parts of me wondering why I will do it. I know one thing that's going to motivate me in that 5 to 6 hour run is seeing what my pace is, what my time is, what my average heart rate is, and perceived effort, etc. Anyway, I hope that's been of value, and yeah, let me know what you think. Have a great afternoon.